Levac and Goss here with you on 104.5. The team and joining us on Levac and Goss here with you on 104.5. The team and joining us now on the phone lines, Capital Region's own beat writer for the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders, AAA affiliate of the New York Yankees, DJ Eberle joins us. And DJ, let's start with Clint Frazier. The guy is what we seem to feel like a major league player. He spent some time this week for the Yankees roster, likely to go back to Scranton again. What is the future with Clint Frazier? He's going to finish this year as a Rail Rider, a Yankee, or on another team?
I think Yankee, but there's a caveat to it. Basically, I think he'll be a Rail Rider for the majority of the season unless there's an injury, and then he'll probably get called up when September call-ups happen and the roster expands. It's no fault of his own. The guy's playing incredible. He's one of the best players of the Rail Riders right now. But if we're being honest, he's not going to play ahead of Aaron Judge or Giancarlo Stanton. And I know the Yankees love Aaron Hicks, and Brett Gardner is one of the leaders on that team. There's not a spot for him. And to be honest, I'm sort of surprised he's on the roster right now, because they're carrying – I know Brett Gardner's injured, but Brett Gardner could be back, and that's the reason he's on the team right now. I think when Brett Gardner, if he does play today like Aaron Boone said is a possibility, I think Clint comes back down. Because they're very short in the infield. They don't have – their backup infielder is Neil Walker, and they're defending Gleyber Torres. He's the backup shortstop, so if something happens to him, you're going to have to call him up immediately.
So you feel like he's more likely to finish the season as a Yankee because of the expanded roster, but if there is a trade that happens in July, isn't he potentially going to be one of the pieces that seems attractive for another team?
It's very possible, but, you look at – I know the Yankees were in on Garrett Cole, and, he wasn't enough to get it done, and he's being just as productive as he was last year. That's what's tough is I think that Clint Frazier is very valuable, but I also think he could be very well could be one of the Yankees' untouchable prospects. I think this guy's got a lot of power in his bat. I think he could very easily be a 35, 40 home run guy with consistent playing time and 100 RBIs and 20 stolen bases. I think Clint Frazier has the talent to be an all-star. I'm not sure if the Yankees are willing to give him up.
There was talk when Frazier was a part of the Cleveland Indian organization, then when he came early for the Yankees, that he had a bit of an ego. He liked himself a bit, wasn't afraid to tell people how good he was. And now he's in AAA, and I always call AAA like purgatory, that nobody wants to be there. No. What has Clint Frazier's attitude been like in Scranton?
Honestly, he has been one of the more positive players on this team. He's taken it in stride. Because I talk to him pretty frequently when he's down here. He came on my podcast, Riding the Rails, and he's very honest, and he understands. I think he just understands what this team construct is about. And when he went up a couple days ago, he said he was the 26th man of the year, because it seemed like he was originally going to be the 26th man for that doubleheader against the Nationals, but obviously it turned out that Gio Gallegos, the reliever, was, and Clint's still there. But, he's been very positive with this, and you don't always see this from guys who come down and are in the situation that Clint is. And I think that's definitely a positive, and if there are any teams around Major League Baseball that were worried about him being a me-first guy, maybe a cancer on the team, I would think, personally, that this should take out that argument and erase that argument.
Beat writer for the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders, the AAA affiliate of the New York Yankees. Capital Region's own DJ Eberle joins us here on the phone lines on 104.5 The Team. And you said something interesting there, DJ. You said that's usually not how it goes. Talking about the guys who are in AAA that have a positive attitude. And I know you talk to them all the time, but be honest, does it surprise you a little bit how good that attitude is for Clint Frazier?
To be honest, no. I've always had pleasant dealings with Clint dating back to last season. He has always been a good guy towards the media in the clubhouse. I know when it came over when he was originally traded in July 2016. I know that was very tough on him. He came in to a clubhouse he didn't know. He struggled. Brian Cashman put a lot of pressure on him right away by saying he's got legendary bat speed, which is something that he jokes around about. And you still see it. I still see it in my Twitter mentions whenever he gets a home run. I post that video on Twitter or something, or even a hard hit single or something. But I've always found that interesting. I've never seen that with Clint. I've always thought he has been a good teammate, and I've always seen it that way. So I personally, I've never really understood that grudge against him.
There's other players in Scranton right now who are really good as well. I know Tyler Austin spent some time there. Ronald Terrace is being bounced around back and forth.
Yep.
My co-host Levac was a big-time Yankee fan and suggested that because there's so much talent there for the Yankees, this AAA team, Scranton, could go out and beat some major league teams. Is that much their talent in Scranton good enough to hang with some major league teams this season?
I mean, in theory, it really is. I was talking about this with one of the guys of the team last night. I mean, their infield, when Ronald Reyes does report here on Thursday, is going to be 4 guys on the 40-man roster with Tyler Austin at first base, Torreyes at second, Tyler Wade at shortstop, Brandon Drury at third, and then you got Billy McKinney in the outfield who's on the 40-man. Clint Frazier will probably come down soon. He's on the 40-man. And then you got a couple other guys mixed in, and then you got a lot of good pitchers. I mean, this team, it is full of talent. The problem is, in theory, I mean, they're not winning as much as you think. You could make a very good argument that they're more talented than the team last year that won their division, went all the way to Governor's Cup Finals, which is a championship series for the International League, which is what they play in. But, I mean, this is a team that lost for the second straight game. They're 4 games under 500. They're only a few games out of the wild card. But, I mean, in theory, yeah, this lineup is very capable to beat some of the teams that are at the bottom of Major League Baseball. They got to put it together.
And I know this sounds very similar to the question I asked earlier, and maybe I'm being the bad radio host trying to fish for an answer here about these guys, but when you've got 5 to 6 to 7 of these guys who all believe they should be Major League Baseball players, is that maybe one of the reasons why they aren't winning? Are all these guys as positive as Clint Frazier? And I get it. You cover the team every day. You don't have to name names, but please, give me somebody who's causing a rift in that locker room.
I mean, there are guys you can tell are frustrated, and it's taken the time to settle in. They've turned it around because they have been winning more often. I mean, they've won, I think, 6 of their last 10 games, and it wasn't 7 of their last 10 games yesterday, and then before that it was 7 of their last 9. So, I mean, the team has been a lot more productive, and I think it's coming to realization that you're going to get back to the majors if you're going to play well. And a lot of guys are doing that. A lot of these guys that came down, Tyler Wade was struggling for the first month and a half he was here, and then has really turned it around. Brandon Drury has always been really good. I mean, he has only not reached base in 2 games as a rail rider. The guy's batting .348, was just named the International League Batter of the Week for batting .471 in a week span. And then Tyler Austin came down. He's been an impact right away. He homered last night. He's batting .375 in 2 games. They're starting to turn around. There's definitely progress coming.
All right, that's a very political answer, and I'm not even going to argue with it. You got to deal with those guys every single day. I know why you answered it that way. Very good stuff from DJ Eberle. I'll let you go on this, DJ. Justice Sheffield, his future for the Yankees. Are we going to see him on the Major League roster? How's he performing in Scranton right now?
So I think he's, in my opinion, he's not one of the first guys to be called up from the Rail Riders from a starting pitcher perspective. The reason I say that is he's only been here for about a month and a half. He, I believe, just pitched 7 innings for the first time as a Rail Rider in his last start. It was 5.1. I'm wrong. So he hasn't reached 7 innings yet as a Rail Rider. I know that they're being very careful with him. He was actually, I believe he was supposed to pitch, tomorrow, Thursday. He got bumped back because I think they just want to give him extra rest. They're being very careful with him, is my point here. His pitch count isn't as high as other pitchers are, and there's a reason for it. I think this guy is the Rail Riders' best pitcher. He's the Yankees' best pitcher for pitching prospect for a reason. I think he could be at some point because Aaron Boone has sort of said that it's a possibility that we see him at some point. I just don't know how soon that is because he's not on the 40-man roster. But this guy is uber talented. I've been very impressed with him. He's another guy that's great in the clubhouse. His teammates love him. I don't know how soon he could be in the Yankees' minds, but I definitely think that he could be a late call-up, maybe pitch out of the bullpen or something. Or if there is an injury, I mean, he could be a guy. I think that it's possible that one of the big pitchers, because I think, in my opinion, the Yankees do need to add pitching. He could be one of those guys in the summer months.
DJ Eberle, Capital Region native, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Rail Rider, beat all those great things. DJ, appreciate your time, man. We'll talk again soon this summer. See ya.
Sounds good.